It happened. All right. Now turn this on. What a. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. Took me a minute. I forgot to look up the WebSocket, apparently. Whatever the hell that means. Adjust my camera. There we go. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon. Let's see. Okay, a bunch of people here. 4 people are here. I have some requests already pending. I'll start in on those. I have a Galactus. Somebody wants a Galactus and a Silver Surfer. Somebody wanted a Transformers drawing. I'm going to start with... I need my pencil first. Here's the pencil. How is everyone? Hi, Dale. Oh, everybody's here. Thanks for everybody for finding me. I screwed up. I forgot how to log in. I don't know why. Let me get my stuff. So today we have requests so far for Galactus and a Lady Death. So those are the 2 that we're starting with. So as always, go to the folders. Hello, everyone. As usual, let me know if you have any questions. There's a bunch of stuff in the buy now section if you want, and we can auction stuff. And I set up the store rather quickly, so it might be glitchy. Let's see what's in that folder. And this is the other side of the folder. Yeah, that's the folder. The other side. So glary, nice and glary. All right, let's find what's in the folder. That's the wrong folder. This is the folder. Here's the paper. Here. Good. All right. Oh, good. It is the right folder. Just overstuffed. Now let's see. So this week we have a bunch of good stuff. The usual die cut card. I like my die cut card. And in that we put the trading cards. This one's got, oh, it's just one trading card. Very random what goes into the trading card. See what else. This is my, I'm working on these newspaper type things. Hold on. These are the inserts for the comic books I'm working on. This is the card holder if you order a sketch card. Stickers, random stickers. And my favorite, the new sticker sheet. So if you order something today, you get the new sticker sheet and the usual certificate of authenticity. And what else is going on? Oh my gosh, lots of stickers. I have a Beatles sticker. So you'll get your choice of stickers. There's the blank sketch card. Somebody needs that. I pulled out my piece of paper. So we're good for that. Put these back in the folders. Put those back. Dude, I love that sticker sheet. Good. It's my first sticker sheet. I want to get into doing more of those. My daughter, my middle daughter, is really into, she's way into stickers. I just try to do whatever my children like. And, where am I going to put this thing? Put this thing here. Here's something completely, since I just happened, it's in the room. is the cover for the new. I'm doing another tardigrade book. So there's the sequel. And I don't know if it's a little, again, glary. I don't know. Take it out. I don't know where the. That's that. That was. What? Where? I got the folder. I remember now. It was. I made a big pile of these goodies. So the new freebies. My idea was this week. Like I said, let's see. I got a collection of stickers from artists. Whatnot. I have no idea what to do with them, but I love them. You could stick them on things. My daughter hoards the damn things. Look at my hair; it's just everywhere. My daughter hoards the damn things. She doesn't use them. She's just showing me these binders full of stickers, and I don't. She makes her happy. So she does decorate things. She puts anyway. So this is I've been putting out. This is my new concept to get our on schedule, was to put out a book every week, a 24-page book every week. So this was last week's book, and so it's an issue of Deathgathlon number 3. I'm working on volume 3. I'm 50 pages in, 50 pages in. So this was the first 24 pages, and that went out in packages last week, and the second 24 pages are done, but I did not have time to print them today. But there's a new cover, so there's 2 issues that are done, and then the third issue should be the end of that arc, and that should then I'll start on tardigrade. And so anybody who orders can have this or the second issue, and this is the sketchbook, and same thing. I've been enjoying making it look like old comics. I've been using just. The reason we're giving these away is because they're on the worst paper ever, because I love the worst paper ever. To me, comic books should be on newsprint. People get really mad when I put out comics on newsprint. I've tried it a couple of times, and people really hate the newsprint, but I love it. I make 10 of each and then give them away, and then I go and I put them on good paper. But these are my favorite versions, is the rotten paper. This is the other thing I have that's got rotten paper, is the Cease and Desist, which is a formatted like the old Mad comics I used to read, and it's the same thing. I really wanted that awful paperback paper, so it's just a thing of mine. But all right. So today's drawings. Hold on, let me get the. Hold on. Focus, center the camera. What? There we go. There we go. All right. Let's see, oh, that reminds me of the old comic strip collections I used to get. Exactly, J.T. Murga. That was the idea. When I was a kid, that's where I bought all my comics. I was not a big, I was a cheapskate, and you could get like 100 pages of old comics for the same price as 22 pages of new comics, and I only had a quarter when I was a kid. So I used to get those like 100-page digests, and I had all the Snoopy paperbacks, and I had all the Mad paperbacks. The Mad Reader and Son of Mad, and just tons of them. The Greasy Mad stuff, and all the Don Martin books. I love the Don Martin books. So that is why those look the way they do. That's what I wanted to do. And people of a certain age enjoy that. And then I go and the Cease and Desist, which is currently only available for me, because I don't want to distribute it or anything, because I know everybody's going to just bitch about the paper. So the new version is going to have more. It's going to have better paper, and probably be more expensive, because that's the way life is. All right, I got to find a better place to put this camera. Enough stalling. I love those gag-a-day one-panel comics. See, me too. I'm that guy. And we still read the funnies. Last night we were catching up on our Mary Worth. Tonight we'll catch up on Curtis. That's what we did last night. Glad you're streaming tonight. I'm glad I'm streaming tonight too. had a glitch, but it was me. There's all these buttons you have to push because I use a thing called OBS, which sorry, I have some kind of stupid Adobe update that I don't. So yeah, it's two buttons that you have to put. You have to the WebSocket and the start. It was there's like 5 buttons. I'm gonna write a checklist like when I used to fly helicopters. Because that's the only way to. All right, here we go. Really? Am I offset? Sorry, I want to be centered. That's the issue. For some reason, I do not want to cooperate with me today. Do this all day. All right. Let's see, what does everybody say? I can't wait to see the request I asked to be done. Which Knack Dead King? Which is the request? Were you the Lady Death or the? We'll find out. I think I'll start with the. I'm gonna start with Galactus just because I know how to draw Galactus. So Galactus. I'm as usual Googling Galactus. He goes through so many costumes. You got to get the right costume. What I love about the early issues of Galactus in the Fantastic Four was Kirby couldn't keep track of the costume details. The costume is different in like every panel in the Galactus comics because he just couldn't. There's so many stupid, crazy details that he just couldn't. And then he had to draw like so many characters, he just couldn't keep track of it. He was so fast. And then some other guy was inking it, I'm sure. Joe Sinnott or whoever. And I don't know why. Let's think. I'm not going to draw all of Galactus because he's large. So what I'll do is I'll draw a big Silver Surfer. He wanted Galactus in the Silver Surfer, so I'll put the Silver Surfer here. Stick figure. Hand here. It's a bad stick figure. Pardon. And, so bad. Kneecap. Just trying to figure out where everything goes. I don't want to commit to anything yet because then I'll have to erase it if I'm wrong. Perspective. Alright, I got perspective cockeyed. I'm gonna have him like lion if I do it right. Looking for this is where I keep all my pens and goodies. The magical pen. Go ahead, take to the conventions. It's got my pencil eraser. All right. Bye-bye, Silver Surfboard. Put a hand, like big hand, and my fingers, thumb. Force perspective. Wish me luck. I'm always thinking of that. I really liked the graphic novel that Jack Kirby and Stan Lee did back in the, I want to say 70s. I had it. My kid drew all over it. Crayons. Ruined it. But it was a good comic. I think I still have it with the crayon drawings on it. But it had these great full panel drawings of Silver Surfer flying out of Galactus's hand. Made me happy. There you go. And as always, we turn things into cubes, tubes, and spheres because everything in the world is made of cubes, tubes, and spheres, and it is easier to draw these things in perspective because I like things to look solid. So this is the best way to make things look solid and figure out the perspectives if you just exaggerate and make it into a cube for a while. This hand should be there. Head. And the funny thing about this is I'm always drawing it at like a slight angle because I'm trying to cheat for the camera. It means I have to check the perspective every now and then because it gets distorted when you draw at an angle. So it looks okay. Yeah, if it's an angle, everything kind of gets elongated. If that makes sense. Let's see. Oh boy. Let's see. I'm just checking the comments here, make sure I'm caught up. Okay, good day. Can't see the request I asked to be done. This thing is the only app I allow notifications for, so my phone tells me when you're on. Thank you, Dale, because it is sporadic. I'm gonna get better. I'm getting better at it. I had a big convention season this summer, and so I got out of the habit because I was doing so many conventions. And the issue when I'm on the road is I cannot. I was worried that if anybody ordered something from the store or from the Whatnot or from my other store, that I wouldn't be able to mail it. We actually did sell something while I was on a train on an Amtrak to San Diego, and Sarah and I had to get off the train. It was like a 15-minute or something layover. It was crazy. It's either 15 minutes or a half hour, and we had to get off the train, run to the Google the post office, run to the post office, buy an envelope, put the book in the envelope, mail it out, and then run back to the train before the train left without us. So I had to stop doing this and selling stuff online because of that. And so now we're back. I don't think I'm traveling so much in the next couple of months. But I can go back. I can focus on this, and I got to catch up on my damn books, which is why I am doing a new book, 22 pages every week. So there's a second issue Deathcathlon available this week. I'm gonna print it out tonight. Oh, this is yeah, I'll see it. I don't really exaggerate this perspective on the surfboard. That's effed it up. All right, and there's gonna be his big old Galactus face. Where I can put his eye. Put one eye there, one eye there. These are all temporary for layout. He's not gonna be cross-eyed. Just trying to figure out where everything goes. This is gonna be interesting. The doggone these things, the things that stick out of his head. I don't even know what you would call them. Kirby loves these things. Making that symmetrical is always a nightmare. Little arrow type of thing. Almost ready. Let's start tightening it up. Maybe it's a neck. What was I thinking? Neck. Hand. That looks goodish. All right, I believe in it. Here we are. There we go. All right. right, let's see. Oh, questions, good. Amtrak to San Diego from where? From New York. I thought it would be fun. I stand corrected. Yeah, Sarah and I'd never done it. I wanted to do it, and there was like at the time there were issues with the Real ID. Trump had just started the Real ID, and I wasn't sure I had the Real ID, and I was also I wanted to get away from my family at the time. They two kids were still living here. They moved out while I was gone. They were still. I was like, oh, I just need peace and quiet. I'm gonna lock myself in a train for a week, and then be able to do some work. But then Sarah wanted to come along, so I couldn't get any work on her. But she flew back, so I got 4 days worth of work done. But then I came back, and one had gone to college, and the other one had found an apartment. So I could have just stayed home and avoided my children. And all right, let me quit fooling around with this. And now, in my lap, trying to figure out where the eraser went to. I love how I lose things in a very small space. I mean, I haven't left the chair. And things vanish over the course of the show. I just like to get rid of a lot of the excess pencil because it might smear the ink if I rub too vigorously when I'm trying to erase it later. Here's my ink bottle. I refilled my ink bottle this morning. Everything should be good. I'm going to put it in a container here. Give me a second. Okay, that looks good. Open bottle. Put the thing there. Here comes the inking. And here it is. So first, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing. Bring this down. Bring the light down. Yeah, that's a little better. Well, now you got a shadow from the camera. All right, something in between there. Here it comes. Did I get all the questions? There was another question I didn't get. Hold on. This is swell. Okay. Hey, Kyle, just pre-bid if I want something drawn and tell you what to draw, sir. Yeah, that's the best. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. That's the best way to do it. What else we got? That was a good question. Scrolling back. Oh my God, I want you to come to Canada Convention so bad. I should, guys. Someone should invite me to a Canada Convention, and then I will show up. That's how that works. Tell your convention. Wouldn't it have been easier to email the buyer that you'd ship in a week because you're traveling? Jose, that's a good question. The thing is that it affects your rating if you don't mail it overnight. I have a perfect rating, by the way, seller rating, because I have not shipped late, and everybody gets what they want on time. So that's important to me. I think that's one of my, when I was looking at what I could do to stand out, I always say when you have a business, you should have like a differentiation. Why you instead of the other guy? So if there's like 100 kinds of milk, you're the guy with the low fat milk or whatever. And just in doing my research, I realized that the easiest way for me to stand out would be to actually have my shit show up on time, because so many cartoonists have a problem with that I thought that could be my angle. And that when people are sitting around talking about all the guys that owe them artwork and didn't show up and didn't get to, and then they say, well, who doesn't suck? Kyle. I've never had a trouble. And when I screw up an order, I fix it and all this. So I try to go the extra mile with this stuff as far as customer service, because I think, and I'm getting comments to that effect, that a lot of times some of these guys just even, well, when I do the conventions, I hear a lot of these big cartoonists have a freaking attitude. People are paying whatever they're paying for a ticket, and they came to see you. You might as well not have an attitude, in my opinion. And do what you paid for. And I mean, I appreciate it when something, shows up, and it drives me crazy when I can't get somebody on the phone. Like, if my package is missing, I can't get any customer service, or, so I say, well, if that's the easiest way for me to compete, I'll go for it. As always, we are starting with the hands and the face because those are the hardest part. For me, other people might have an easier time with hands and faces, but for me, they're time consuming. The hand has many bones. I can't remember how many bones, but it's like most of the bones in the human body are like in the hand or something stupid like that. Kind of fudging my way through this. I just said I was going to do the head, but I had to figure out where the shoulders were so I could put the head in the middle. All right, see if I can do this. I don't know if I gotta Google Silver Surfer to see if he has ears. I don't think he does. The Silver Surfer does not have ears. So I'll fix that later. There we go. Let's see. Am I caught up on my questions? Hi, Kyle. I am caught up on my questions. Alright, Silver Surfer now has slight ears until I get rid of them. Clavicle. And, alright, let me figure this hand out. What should he be doing? Draw it upside down. Yeah. Plausible. Yeah. Because I do not pencil tightly. A lot of guys pencil a lot better, more tightly, but I'm impatient. So then I have to kind of piece everything together. So I start with like the things like that I know where they go, like a knee or a hand, and then I'll connect it somehow. It's a stupid way to work. Okay. Okay. Knee goes. It worked. I wasn't sure about that one. All right, one down. There we go. And this is me just trying to figure it out. Surfboard. Yeah, I gotta put the surfboard in. Also, since I'm making it up as I go along, I have to start from the stuff that's in the foreground, draw that first, and then move. So I have to put the surfboard in just because I don't know where Galactus's hand will go. One. And I don't know where my curves are. So So I'm going to wing those curves. It's going to be interesting. That's it for now. I'll put the stripes on later. He's got stripes on his surfboard. More ink. Let's see. The hand. This. I'm planning to do, for the perspective, I'm planning to do something more with the line weights, theoretically. A good rule of thumb in the comic books is, the closer something is to the camera, the thicker the outline is. And that makes it look like it's in 3D. Most of this stuff is about just trying to give the thing depth, make it look like it's reaching out at you, like this big hand is going to be reaching out at you. So this hand is already, I'm warning you, the hand's going to look a little pudgy and funky for a minute. Then once I put the shading on it, it'll really, I don't know. That's the goal. I think his hand will be some kind of a light source. All right. Just gotta figure out that. Just gotta figure out the perspective that's on this. It's hard to draw curved things in perspective, which is why I turn them into cubes and planes and things like that. Because let's see, this is challenging. It's wacky. Oh, it wasn't as bad as I thought. I was concerned. All right, back to the hand. Again, if anybody has any questions, let me know. If anybody gets bored, feel free to go into the buy now section. There's entertaining stuff there. That looks horrible, but I'll fix it. Foreshortening is very challenging. Kirby was really good at it. Jack Kirby, that's the thing, is that Marvel Comics are 99% foreshortening. That was like the house style. Jack Kirby, that was like one of the big things he brought to the medium. It's that forced perspective. It's really hard to do without, because you don't want people to look like they got short arms and short legs and stuff, or stubby little monkey fingers. So, the shading will fix it. Okay, that's one hand down. Now we're gonna do his eyeballs. The eyes of Galactus. Okay, let me look for his crazy helmet again. And Galactus. And, oh, that's kind of cool. All right, I'm gonna pick this one. I'll try to find a good helmet. Byrne. I'm gonna do John Byrne. That's a nice one. Okay, so first he's gonna have the great thing about Men from Space is that you can be a little inaccurate. I'm making his eyes a little far apart. But maybe that's how they are in space. Maybe he's from a planet where the eyes are far apart. Ah, I'm telling you, symmetry on a freaking curved cylindrical object is is rough. But we'll just put it. We'll put the parts in shadow that I screwed up. So I'll keep putting my hair in. Okay. Symmetry, symmetry, symmetry. Move this plastic so I don't get ink on the plastic. All right. The good news is that the background is going to be in space because he's always in space. So anything I get wrong, I can just cover up when I fill in the background on space. I think I'm getting close now. Oh, look, questions. I love the questions. Thanks. Hey, Kyle, just pre-bid if I want something drawn. Oh, no, I already, yeah, which I already answered that one. No toes either, but he has fingers. Is he wearing socks? I'm confused. Oh, no, I'm right now. I'm just figuring out where everything goes. The Silver Surfer wears what Silver Surfer wears. He has nothing, but I have to get everything where it belongs. That's what this phase is just figuring out where everything is, and then I'll put the shading in and the details. But if the big shapes aren't right, then you can't. I was gonna say you can't just cover it with detail, but honestly, I can think of a lot of artists that do just cover up bad drawing with a lot of detail. So to each his own. But I do not like to. I like to have a good solid structure underneath, so that I know what the hell's going on, and it looks more solid. I think when you're doing fantasy stuff, it's already hard to believe because it's hard to convince somebody that there's like a flying robot going through space or on a surfboard. And so if you draw it, if you get it wrong, it's just going to look less convincing, you know. All right, here we go. Oh, does he have no eyeballs? Let's hope that Galactus has no. Yes, Galactus has no eyeballs. Thank God, because I don't want to figure him out. Let me get myself Diet Coke. I'm practicing for being an influencer. Diet Coke. All right. Stay tuned for the burp. Feel better now. Are you drawing the lines with a calligraphy ink pen? I am drawing the lines with some sort of rotten. I literally went online on Amazon and just typed in anime pen, and they sent me a 6 anime pen points. That's all I know about them is that these are not anime, manga pen points. So that's what these are. I don't know what that means. I used to use Gillette 170. They're hard to get. They don't make them out of copper anymore. And so now I've just given up on caring about what point I use. I just go online and buy whatever they got. Wait till you see the brush. The brushes are from Five Below. That's even worse. And I'm going to try these eyeballs. Again, does he have... You gotta take another look at this guy. Okay, he has a nose and a mouth and everything. Okay. Okay, so he's got a regular human face with no eyeballs and no ears. I got that. I'm not really thinking too much about the shading yet. Just trying to know where everything is. Hmm. What am I looking at? All right. What the rest of Galactus' helmet? Okay, okay. He's got a thing on his jaw. I'm gonna give him a bigger nose so that it pokes out behind this thumb. It's a wacky thumb. And I missed this movie. I guess if it's on Disney Plus, I'll check it out. I heard it was interesting. A little behind on my Marvel movies. I watched a little bit of the one that my character is in, the Falcon character. Not Falcon. What the hell is it? Captain America. I watched a little bit of that. I haven't finished it though. I liked what I saw so far. There we go. Do that. Oh boy. Who suggested this? I'm really sick of it now. No, I'm not. It's just this helmet is rough. Now I know. If Marvel calls me up and says, "Hey, you want to draw Galactus?" I'll ask for time and a half. Here we go. Again, the funny part is, after all this thought, half it's going to be covered up with shadows. Stripes. I'll deal with the stripes later, I think. I think that would be a brush thing. Chest. Got a big circle on his chest. He used to have he used to have a big G on him, which I liked. I remember he had a big giant G on his belt when I was a kid. They got rid of it because I guess they figured Galactus doesn't speak English. But he does speak English. He just doesn't have to use our alphabet or something, I guess. Sorry, I'm just looking for a decent drawing to come back. There. All right, that's the line work. Oh, hold on. I did say I was gonna. Oh, Jose Marzan's not still watching. Jose Marzan, who I don't know if he's still watching. He was here. We were interns together at Marvel Comics. I'm gonna talk about you now. Well, we were interns at Marvel Comics, and we started doing backgrounds at Marvel Comics for Vinnie Coletta and Joe Rubinstein and Andy Mashinsky and a bunch of other guys. And that was our job, was drawing like straight lines, sitting there with a ruler all day, drawing straight lines. And he was better at, well, he's better at everything. He was better at it than I was. I'm not good with a ruler, as you might see. So this is Jose's opportunity to mock me and my ruler technique. Here we go. Yeah, I follow Ron Frenz's Facebook because I like his drawings. One of our first jobs was working on Spider-Man with Joe Rubenstein. And so, I always forget one thing. Today I forgot the paper towel. So I'm going to use this shirt. Let's get the ink off of the point. All right. I forgot where I was going with that. Joe Rubenstein, something. Oh, so whenever I see Ron, he likes to post old drawings of stuff, and from time to time we'll see a page that I did or that Jose did, and my pages are so bad. It was a table setting. I think it was Aunt May's table or something, and I guess I didn't have an oval template or something to draw the plates, so every plate is a different shape. Now, gotta get my eraser. First, I gotta make sure there's no shininess. I always put my eraser right into some wet ink. There we go. All right. My trick when you erase, just erase in the direction the character moves. This way, if it smears, I'm gonna pretend that it's like action. Oh no, I did that on purpose. I wanted it to look like the Flash. He's streaking towards you. Today, it looks like I'm going to be all right. It looks like I am not going to smear the ink in front of everyone. Things are looking up. I still like to shake the camera, though, when I erase. Figure that out. What about the Flash streaking? Yeah, I'll draw the Flash streaking. Yeah, when the Flash moves, and he used to. I don't know if they still draw this. When Carmine Infantino drew it, he would always have these lines coming off him, to make him look like he was moving. I also like when he had the repeating. He would have a repeating image of the Flash to make it look like he was moving. There's always some way to make these guys. That's the challenge, is to make things look like they're moving when they are not moving. It's not a problem we have with animation. For me, it's trying to add. Kirby, again, was really good at making things look like they had a lot of action and movement when there's absolutely no movement in a still drawing. And, oh gosh, there's a bunch of guys that really do it well. There was a Reed Crandall cover. Maybe next time I'll pop it up. There was a great Reed Crandall cover of shock suspense stories. Anyway, of a guy getting hit, and it really looked like the guy was getting knocked off it was a cop beating up a prisoner. He's tied to a chair and he's roughing him, hitting him, and the chair is on two legs backwards, and his hair is flying all over the place, and his shirts, tails are flying, and probably some spit flying. You got to figure out, how can I make this thing look like it's moving? So, right now it looks a little static. We'll give it a little action. And I had. I'm going to use this is the same brush from last week. Let me find my water. All right, never do this, by the way. My ink water is in a Diet Coke, Diet Dr. Pepper bottle. I'm drinking Diet Coke today. So we're going to see how long it takes me to accidentally drink my ink today. It will happen. It always happens. It's really stupid. All right, here I am with the world's crappiest, cheapest brush. I get all my brushes from Five Below, currently. Actually thinking of getting some made. I want some with my logo on them. So, since I know I'm going to use them, I'll just order 100 with my logo on them. I'm looking for. Oh yeah, this is what I want to show you. For the folks playing along at home, people always ask. So these are the Five Below brushes, and they keep changing them. My favorite They don't make them anymore, but when I see them, I like these. They have a sparkly. Um, so this brush is completely shot, but I just love the sparkly, so I'm holding on to it until you can use it when a brush goes to hell and starts to do that. You use it for like fur, trees, things like that. So uh, I just like cheap brushes. I'm a cheapskate. I want to start getting into those bamboo. I used to use those Japanese bamboo. Like it was a piece of bamboo. I don't know what they're called, but a piece of bamboo with hair on it. And those are cool. Put the ink on. All right, where are we going to start? First, we look for. Oh, well, let me check these comments. Hold on a second. Arthur Adams says he doesn't like doing Galactus or Doctor Doom commissions anymore due to the added work required. Now you, and that's how I end up with the gig. Okay, no, I should have talked to Art. Let's see. You bulleted flitting by. Yes, you bulleted flitting by. All right. I do the same ruler trick. Learned it from the Lee Buscema book. Is that where we learned? Yeah, I think Danny Crespi gave us all that book. Again, this is Jose Marzan. Yeah, I think Danny Crespi, what was he, like the production manager or whatever at Bullpen. He's a very nice guy, and he bought all the kids. Andrew Loomis books. And I'm sure they got the Stan Lee book for free. I remember we had that. And I learned a lot just from bothering Jack Abel. I used to just hang out at Jack Abel was in the bullpen. And he would ink in the bullpen. His job was like to correct things. He would draw books and stuff, but he and John Romita, if there was a mistake, back in the old days, you had to mail everything by FedEx, and so it would take like 2 days. If you had a mistake, you had to send it back to the guy. So they would just have a guy fix it there if something was wrong, and so I would just stand by Jack Abel's desk all day and ask him questions like, "Why are you doing that? What's that brush for? What's that piece of paper for? What is that cloth for? What is it?" And why are you doing this and that and the other thing? And that's kind of how I learned how to draw. Now I am beefing up these lines. I am stalling. I should have I need a light source. Trying to figure it out. I'm gonna make his hand the light source. Creative. Okay, we're using the wrong ink. I'm gonna put the top on this ink. Switch over to this ink. Again, for the folks who care, it is Speedball Super Black is what I'm using. I enjoy Speedball Super Black. I like to recommend stuff, but keep in mind, every single tool I use, I can tell you a famous cartoonist who absolutely hates that. There are guys that hate the Super Black. There are guys that hate my Kid Finish paper. Absolutely. Who was it? Oh man, who was the guy? Hold on. He's very nice. Kevin Nolan. He's blanked. I'm getting old. Kevin Nolan. He really hates my plate finish. He likes a nice rougher board. And I tend to just go with whatever is at the store. I am not picky. I shop at Michael's. That's the closest store to me. And this is what they got at Michael's. Sometimes I buy stuff on Amazon. We used to have some really good art supply stores near me in New York. Pearl Paint was the one I used to go to. They went out of business. They were fantastic. And like I say, the reason I've been buying the what they call the manga pen, they're actually, again, don't know the name of them. They're just called manga pens. That's what I buy. And the reason I buy them is that manga is probably one of the last areas where people actually still use pen and ink. I mean, most artists are digital now. But I just do this is easier for me just because I've been doing it for so long. You know, you just get good at anything you've been doing for 60 years. So it's too late to change. Hold on. Let me think. Okay. Start straightening out these background here. For some reason, it's easier for me to draw a straight line with a brush than with a pen. Maybe there's less friction. That's probably the issue. Jim Shooter used to yell at me for not using rulers. To which I would respond, Al Williamson doesn't use a ruler. And then I'm sure he would say something like, Al Williamson's better. Al Williamson, he probably worked larger too. Now that I think about it, one of my jobs as an intern was Xeroxing those Star Wars comics he did. I was a Xeroxer, and so I remember we had the Return of the Jedi pages and stuff that were coming in, and then again because everything was mailed, you had to Xerox everything before you mailed it out because things got lost, and so I got to handle a lot of fun drawings, like I remember doing a lot of John Buscema stuff, and I would always make an extra set for myself, copy them, so I could study them. That was fun. All right, Adams is right. I once asked Jack, "What pen is that?" He gave me a long story about Joe Kubert. Yes, yes, that's hilarious. That's okay. I Jack Abel. I'm sorry. I'll read this. Jose Marzan said, "I once asked Jack. That's Jack Abel. What pen is that?" And he gave me a long story about Joe Kubert. He asked Joe Kubert the same, and Kubert's answer was, "It doesn't matter." Now I said that to somebody once, and they busted my balls. They took it the wrong way. They got very offended because they felt I was implying that but it really doesn't matter. It's like the shoes, that joke about Michael Jordan's shoes and the commercial saying, "Oh, it's got to be the shoes." You buy Nikes, you're never gonna be Michael Jordan. I'm not saying I'm Michael Jordan. I'm just saying that there's no substitute for knowing what the hell you're doing, and if you know what you're doing, and also this guy's doing great work with different materials. I mean, you know, there's different things you can use pastels. You can use, I like Degas, and Degas he did great. Degas was great at pastels, oil paint, and sculpture. I love all three of those things that he did. He was really great, and you know he's absolutely right. Yeah, my favorite Jack Abel story, by the way, the one that changed my life, was he would talk about Wally Wood. He was a big buddy of Wally Wood. He used to hang out a lot. And one day, and if you're familiar with Wally Wood's style, it's a very intricate style. He's one of the original Mad Magazine artists. And if you think about Mad Magazine, it's all that little detail. He had like thousands of jokes in the background, all these little. Wally Wood pretty much invented that technique, that joke of putting lots of detail in. So he was famous for the detail and the realism. The shading was really good, and he was he auditioned for Prince Valiant once. I mean, he's that kind of anyway, really good artist, known for detail and realism. And he and Jack Abel were sitting around drinking one day, and Jack said, hey, they were old. Jack said, if you had it all to do over again, Woody, what would you do different? And he said, and at the time, Woody was a big hero of mine. And he goes, if I had it all to do different again, I would draw like Charles Schulz. And I thought about it. I was like, yeah, he's absolutely right. You make more money drawing like Charles Schulz. And that, to me, that was life changing. I was like, he's right. Why am I trying to draw like Wally Wood? All right. I remember Joe Orlando once Not once, a lot of times. We were looking at some Hollywood art, Joe Orlando and Joe, just he points at one of the drawings and he's like, I used to tell Woody all the time, Woody, people bend at the waist, and he never listened. And it's true. If you look at any Wally Wood drawing that he penciled, the guy is just like welded at the way. He cannot bend. He will not twist his waist. He will not bend it. You know, it's hilarious. Wood was aptly named. Let's see, it's starting to come together. There's always a point at which I'm convinced this thing's not going to happen. It's not making any sense, and then it falls together once I put a little more black onto it. Right now, I'm at that phase of what the hell is this thing? And I don't usually start with the black. Well, sometimes I do. This thing's gonna have a lot of black, so I just wanted to start blacking it in. Let's see. Oh, yeah, okay. You got to find what works for you. Hollywood was one of those guys you could look at the same piece for a year and find new stuff in it. He had his days. I like the later stuff more than more than the early stuff. I think he did. He did eventually learn how to draw, or he just got better assistants. I know Larry Hama and maybe Chaikin. I know Hama worked for him a while. And according to him, at that point, what Wally Wood was doing was he would have his assistant swipe his own old work in pencil, and then he would ink it and make it look, good. So he would give Larry Hama an old issue of Two Fisted Tales or something and say, trace that tank or trace that girl. So it would be in his style. At least that's the way I remember it. Lately, because I'm 60, lately I've been telling stories, and then people will come up to me and say that's not the way I remember it. Like I was getting my award for what the hell was it? Hold on, it's here. The Will Eisner award. So they're picking that up, and look how I got on that now. It's gone. All right, it's gone. I got distracted. It's very hard to concentrate when you're doing like three things at a time. I'm talking and trying to draw at the same time. I can't. You'll notice, like, the more I talk, the less I draw. There's something. It's gone. It was something about Wally Wood. What was it? The speech. It was something about the speech I made, and then I forgot. I forgot my speech. I'm going. It's some kind of point. What about the flash? Let's see. Here we go. Let's ask Jack. But Chuck Charles also had a point. So Hollywood was one of those guys. Yes, you got to find that. Oh, Charles Schultz. Yeah. He did have a point. And you made bootleg copies of the Jedi book. Did I? Jose says I bootlegged copies of the Return of the Jedi book. I wouldn't doubt it. That book was, if I remember, that was the one that Lucas got really mad about because they leaked the end of. If that's the movie I'm thinking about, whichever movie Darth Vader says he's Luke Skywalker's father, Marvel put that book out early, by mistake, a week early, and then everybody knew the secret that Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father, and it ruined the surprise of the movie. And Lucasfilm was so angry that we could never get anything out of them ever again. I worked on Indiana Jones comic, and I worked on Howard the Duck, which was a Lucasfilm movie adaptation. They wouldn't give us anything. We had to make up the ending of Howard the Duck because they wouldn't tell us what was in the movie. A Marvel movie, they would not tell us the end of Howard the Duck because Marvel had screwed up so badly. And Danny Finger, if you ever read the, I don't know why you would, but if you ever read the Howard the Duck movie adaptation, we made up the ending. There's a new ending because they wouldn't tell us. He fights like a giant duck at the end of it. It's terrible. The good old days. If I win Plastic Man Alien, that's funny. Okay. Here we go. Plastic Man Alien, I like that. It's like, what's harder to draw than Galactus? Oh, I know. Alien's probably harder to draw than Galactus. I'll make him do that. All right, I'm almost done. This used to be my first job, was filling in the black. As you can see, it's tedious. Let me think. Oh, look at that. His hand is attached to nothing. That was genius, Kyle. All right. Hold on. He's got to have a glove. Hold on. You put his arm in there. What the hell? You guys were just going to let me do it, too. Oh, don't tell him. Don't tell him Galactus has no. That's better. More black. Again, I'm trying to give it some perspective, some kind of depth. That's the main thing. This one's an interesting one. So much black. Okay. Just double checking that he has metallic gloves. He does, kind of. What is he made out of? He's kind of made out of shininess. He's shiny. See how much easier it is for me to put down a straight line with the brush? I'll put all these details in later in white. Ooh, that's terrible. This thing here. Yes. Fix that. Sometimes I see things better upside down. It's easier for me to see what's not symmetrical. I keep putting my hair in front of the camera. Plastic Man as a xenomorph. That would be funny as heck. Oh no. Everybody wants me to do Geiger now. It's going to be a nightmare. I'll do it. This is the part where I'm trying to sell that perspective. If I can sell the perspective, we'll save it. Let's see. You need plastic man, a predator. Let's see. Hollywood was one of those guys you could look at. You know, the thing about Plastic Man is I gotta find my freaking red pen. Because Plastic Man, when he doesn't look like himself, then you have to. The only way you know it's Plastic Man is that he's red. I did I'll show it to you guys. It's at some point. I forgot to post it. I at a convention I did a picture of the Shadow as Plastic Man as the Shadow's scarf because the Shadow wears a red scarf. So somebody had that idea, and I had to use a red pen. Otherwise, you would have no idea that it was Plastic Man. So we'll see. I think I might have one in that pen bag, my lucky pen bag. And the funny thing, you always have to have like Galactus. He's reflective in space. What's he reflecting? What are any of these guys reflecting in space? You put the Silver Surfer in space, he's going to be black. There would be no light source. So he's reflecting nothing. You gotta have the reflections. Okay. It's stalling on this face. Was that on? She said something. I think she's a Zoom meeting or something. Now, for me, the challenge is when you're putting reflections, you want to still have the shape. But reflections, again, there's no shadows. You know, the way to give things solidity is to give it a shadow, but if it's reflecting, then it's not a shadow. But then you gotta also have shadow. It gets confusing. So like under his arm, I'm gonna put a shadow to give it some depth. Yeah, sometimes I'll rough a thing out in 3D. If there's a lot of reflections, I will do like a bad 3D rendering of it just to figure out the reflections, you know, and then trace it off. Progress. His crotch is a little low. Ah, And Wally Wood's favorite quote was, "When in doubt, black it out. Just put a shadow on it if there's something wrong. You can't figure it out." Yeah, I'm always kind of correcting things as I move, like figuring out where the clavicle went. The reason I work this way is also I find that if I do really 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 tight layouts and really tight pencils, then when I ink it, it just gets lame. It gets overworked. It gets very stiff and loses the excitement. Again, I think these action stories need a lot of loose. Uh, you know, again, people will disagree with me, but I think very loose brushstrokes, like a Klaus Janson or an Alex Raymond. You know, uh, by having that rough line, it makes it look like it's really moving quicker. Whereas somebody like Hal Foster looks a lot more static because of all the cross hatching and detail and stuff. Everybody looks very posed. I like I like action. If I remember correctly, Galactus has pinstripes. Keep referring to the reference here. Jet. There we go. The pinstripes. Get that right. I did. All right. We need more black. Just needs to get blacker and blacker and blacker. Let's see. Deep space, sure, but it's a near planet. There has to be a star. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm just saying you wouldn't have all these streaks. Yeah, you'd have it reflect the sun or whatever, but it would be mostly the you know black with probably not even if you look at pictures of real astronauts like the space shuttle and stuff, the stars don't twinkle in space because they don't have atmosphere, and so the stars are actually less twinkly. It just looks black. It just at least the photos I've seen. It's it's a nice thing about Marvel Comics. People aren't really reading it for scientific accuracy. You're talking about a place where a guy can be bit by a radioactive spider and become superhero. So another guy got hit in the Hulk. He got hit by an atom bomb. Got his powers from getting hit by an atom bomb. The famous dry brush. Favorite thing. I love dry brush. You always have to wait until the brush actually runs out of ink. You have to do all the black stuff first, like the space stuff. He needs a reflection on his surfboard because he has a silver surfboard, so his feet would be reflected. I just realized I forgot to put his other foot on the footboard. I mean, on the. I guess he's standing on one foot today. All right, no problem. Let me get that out of there. Get a little more air. See, this is what happens when you draw live. Make that black. Yeah. I also left no room to sign my name. That's kind of funny. Tempted to give him like razor stubble. I don't know. I don't know if Galactus can grow a beard. Art Adams is right. It's official. I told you, I once turned down a Spider-Man job because I just didn't want to draw those webs. I've done it enough. Double check that Galactus hat again. Galactus' hat though. His hat. Where's your hat, Galactus? Oh, okay. I'm looking at Neal Adams. Neal Adams gave him little vents on his head, which I kind of dig. Steal more. Steal more from this Neal Adams drawing. I like it. All right. We're almost ready for the black. For the white. The white out. That's the best part. My favorite part. But give it a little more 3D, a little more depth. Then we'll move on to the next phase. Okay. Like I said, there's a phase where I hate it, and now I'm back to where I can see how it could turn into something nice. Get a little frustrated 3/4 of the way, and it's true with everything. Everything I do, 3/4 of the way through, I hate it. And if I can just push past that point, then I go back to loving it. I once had an assistant fish one of my drawings out of the garbage and tell me to put it back in the book. Because I think I was too judgmental. He said, "Why'd you throw this drawing out?" I said, "Because the wind was moving in the wrong direction. It was a scene that was on a boat, and the guy's coat was blowing the other way most of the time, and then I just screwed up, and the coat was blowing." And he said, "Nobody's going to notice that." And I ended up printing it, and it turned out to be a good book and a good. It was You Are Here. So if anybody has a copy of You Are Here, the scene on the ferry, Staten Island Ferry at the end, the wind changes direction, and no one ever noticed, except me. Right up to the border. Mm-hmm. Try to make this pop a little more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just trying to define the shape. It's the main thing is to make it look three-dimensional. So sometimes there's not exactly any logic to some of these strokes. I just put them because I need them to turn the figure. I think I'm almost done. Look at it on the screen. Sometimes things look different on the screen. Yeah, yeah, that works. Except for this part I screwed up. The hand with no arm, but I'll fix that in the whiteout. Give it more of a. I'll leave that space so we can sign it. Clean that out. Clean that out. Clean that out. There. All right, I'm gonna wash my brush and then drink the ink water. Will you be doing the piece I pre-bid on tonight on another show? What was the piece you pre-bid on tonight? I will do it next. I'm almost done with this one. I'll do it right now. What nutchuck? You tell me, and I'll do that one absolutely next, since it's a pre-bid. Okay. G1. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll do it next. So, forgive my ignorance. Who is G1 again? Is that a transformer, or is that a? Is the whiteout pen full of white paint? Generation 1. Yes. Okay. I thought I bid. MP Devil also bid. I see one pre-bid for $100. Does it say whose pre-bid it is? Hold on. Hold on. There. I thought that was me who pre-bid. Okay, find out who pre-bid, and that's the next one I'll do. I'm confused. Okay, here's the whiteout. So this is a Artistro whiteout pen, and you have to shake it up because I guess the paint settles or it separates or something, so you have to shake it up before you. Says I'm winning 8.5 by 11 sketch. So what nutchuck? What nutchuck is the next guy? Okay. All right, and so what nutchuck? What generation one? Is that a transformer? Or is that? I'm old. I don't remember. Is that from Gen 13 or? I will do it. Yes, Transformers. Okay, I got you. Now, yeah, now I remember. Okay, yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, giving him doodahs, little gadgets and things in his helmet. I was just now looking at a very nice Neal Adams cover, and he put lots of really cool details on the mask. So that's what I'm trying to do. He did a really cool drawing of Galactus like reaching. Everybody likes to have Galactus reach at the camera. Maybe it makes him look bigger. Almost done. Almost done. Get rid of that ear. I accidentally gave him an ear. I thought he had ears. He does not. And last look. It's starting to look finished to me. Hope it looks finished to everybody else. I think this is the end. I'm trying to sell the perspective here. Make it look rounder, makes it. That's the plan. It looks done to me. It looks finished. Does it look finished to everybody? It looks good. Let's there it is. So should I run this or should I move on to the pre-bid? I leave it open. I'm going to find another piece of paper. Start looking for G1, Generation 1. Transformers. There it comes. Images. Oh, there's different ones. Okay, so do you have a character you want? Is there did I see they have a Megatron, Devastator, Optimus Prime, G1? So which character do we want from G1? Do you have a favorite? No cosmic rays out of the eyes. Oh, okay. I got to have cosmic rays out of the eyes. Hold on. Let's see if this works. That's the vanishing point. Ah! Can it work? Kids today. Hiya, Memphis Comics Expo. We love Memphis Comics Expo. That's a good show. Everyone should go. We go all the time. It's a good convention. Okay. All right. Enough of that. Okay, we're moving on to the next one. Moving to the next one. All right, that is it. I'll put that in the store later. Nobody wanted to run it. Nobody wanted to bid on it, so we will move to the next one. We're doing Transformers next. Excitement. All right. Helps to take it out of the plastic. Kids love that. All right. You know what I'm gonna do? One of my characters that I did cover for. So Kyle Baker Transformers images. All right. The Devastator. All right, I'm doing this guy. I like this guy. I don't remember his name, but I did this cover. There it is. Oh, I have it's around here. So I got a couple of, I just bought a couple of new. Oh, they're right here. Look at that. My life might be solved. Is it here? It is not here. Sarah and I went to a comic convention and found all my stuff in the dollar bin. So I got a bunch of old Transformers. I'm the king of the dollar bin. Okay, I'm gonna give him one of these kind of action running head. Okay, I'm gonna try and do this one a little faster. That one was complicated. This one is not. There we go. That should do it. Let's see. You were doing Prime and Megatron fighting. Okay, got it. Prime and Megatron fighting. That's good. Here we go. Yeah, I'm gonna do I have a cover that I did of them fighting. I'm looking at that. What was it? The cover number 7. Wait, did I draw that? I think I drew the inside. I might have drawn the cover. Okay. First we dummy it in. And we're gonna blast through this one. I get too chatty. That's why it takes so long. It doesn't actually take me that long to draw. It just takes me a long time to chit chat. Now this is the fun part. Like, usually we try to break everything down to cubes, tubes, and spheres, but robots are actually made out of cubes, tubes, and spheres, so it's really easy to draw them in perspective. I'm trying to remember if he's the guy who had a gun. Remember, I drew a cover of these guys fighting. There it is. Oh no, he's not the guy with the yeah. All right, Megatron has like some kind of weird gun on his hand. Okay, okay. I was right. There it is. I see the gun. Okay. I think I'm looking at a Bob Budiansky cover. And he kind of hit it, the gun. Oh, coming back to me. Gotta find a good picture of Optimus Prime's chest. Video. Images. There it is. Boom. Got a windshield for a chest. Grill. Or I think I've got the perspective figured out. Just here. These things on his shoulder. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Q Optimus. There we go. Hold on. Trying to find a good picture of his face. Here we go. There we go. Come on. For some reason, it's back. We're back. It disconnected me for a second. Yeah. Okay. Punch, punch, punch. Hand, hand. Boom, boom, boom. All right. I think that's as good as it gets. Clean up a little. Next, the ink. You're doing Prime and Megatron fighting. That is what I'm doing. Prime and Megatron fighting, punching each other in the face. I was gonna try and do an old cover, but I just stole pieces of the old cover. Yeah, Bobby. I think he's yes. All right. I'm all caught up on my comments. Back to work. There. Fine. There we go. Get a nice picture of his head so I can get the. There we go. Just wanted to see what his face looked like. Okay, one eye. Okay. There we go. I was trying to find his side of his head. As I say, I always start with the tough stuff first. Got this. And first, just trying to figure out where everything goes before I tighten it up. Got these, Optimus Prime. Chest. Can't remember the last time I did it. It's like, what was this, 40 years ago? 40 years ago. He's got little wheels on his leg. His hip. These knees. Okay. Coming together. What's under the hood? I don't remember. I think he turns into a 18 wheeler. I mean, a truck cab. Yeah, when we did this book, we had no idea it was going to catch on. You did a cover of or something back 40 years. I did that was my first one of my first jobs. Was I did like 2 or 3 issues of Transformers, and then I ended up penciling it because William Johnson, the penciler, vanished in the middle of the job. Nobody knew where he went, and so they said, Kyle, just draw the last 3 pages or whatever. So that was my first penciling job. Was I can't remember exactly. I think it was issue 7 was the first issue I actually penciled. And I didn't get credit because I took over for William Johnson. The drawing style changes. It's at the end of the story. Transformer falls off a cliff. The Dinobots chase him off a cliff, if I remember correctly. That was when I started drawing it. Okay. Oh my goodness. That's right. He's got those smokestacks. That's funny. Let's see. I didn't know that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can find them in the dollar bin. That's where I buy them. All right. That goes that way. Right. It goes like that. All right. Next, we try the other guy, Megatron. Megatron. Megatron T2 T1. Yes. Crazy helmet. Let's start with the head. There it is. Angular chin. Pointy chin. Three. Okay. That is the face. And I'll put my hair in front of the camera. Work on it. Let's check out his hands. What kind of hands do you have, Mr. Megatron? All right, I'm just gonna make his hand back. There we go. Ah, that's a good drawing. Chester Gould was born on this day in 1900. I love Chester Gould. Oh my goodness. I think we're going to put this on my list of hard to draw characters. This is nuts. All right. Oh, like drawing a freaking map or something. It's so many. All right, almost ready for the black part. This was a lot of planning. This. I thought robots were easier because they're all square. I know, but then you gotta get. There's all these like random details that I forgot all about. This guy turns into a gun. He's got like the hammer over here from the, and then he's got the barrel here. That's on my ruler. Do the straight lines with the brush. Okay, give him the other fist. Make sure I get all the details correct. Give me a second. The other thing I forgot about trying, you got to kind of cheat sometimes. If the actual models don't actually work physically, like you can't move their arms in certain positions and stuff. So you got to kind of fudge it because there's things in the way. And what did I just do? There it is. All right, this will be the end of it. I'm gonna fake that. All right, this is the final limb. Now I can start inking it out. Not going too tight on the rest of it because those back legs are going to be in shadow to give it some perspective in 3D. All right. I'm going to request the map you mentioned next. Thanks. It's a robot day. It's complicated character day. Erase it. Take a little bit of the pencil off without erasing the black. Wish me luck. Can we do it? So far, so good. It's gonna happen. I feel good. All right. Look at that. It happened. Okay. All right. So that's where we are so far. Now I'm gonna put the black on. That should fix it. Black brush. What borough are you in? That's a good question. I am in Queens. I live over by the U.S. Open. I see it out my window. I see the big globe in the Forest Hills. The what do they call it? The Unisphere from the World Trade, not the World Trade, the World Fair. it comes. First, I'm figuring out the light source. The light source is going to be upper right. And the rule of thumb is when you ink something, everything on the opposite of the everything on the opposite of the light source is black. So if the light source is to decide the upper right is the light source, then the shadows will all be on the lower left. And I changed my mind. I want the light source on the upper left. So I'm putting the shadows on the right. That is the plan. Let me get that picture Optimus again. Get those arms. Okay. And this should make it look more solid as putting the blacks. Always hear Queens in the voice of Eddie Murphy Coming to America. Yeah, yeah. A lot of that stuff. I enjoy that movie because a lot of that stuff was where I'm from. I guess we're from nearby. I think he's from. I want to say Roosevelt, but I might be wrong. But yeah, he said the reason he made the movie in Queens was because he's from Queens and he wanted it to. These legs, the ones in the back, are just going to be totally in black. That gives it more three-dimensional, more three-dimensionality, if that's a word. Yeah, it's coming together. light source is upper left. Then he would have a shadow. His face casts a shadow on his body. His stuff casts a shadow. Black, black, black. I think I need a bigger black brush. Triple B. Oh, he's got wheels on his legs. I forgot the wheels. Hold on. 1, 2. Tires on his legs. I'll put the treads on with white paint. What else? Kind of weird. Doggone it. Okay. The reference I used, it was showing his leg from a different angle. Okay. And nice, guys. That's Megatron's leg. Okay, I don't have to ink that yet. I'm actually trying to imitate the style I used back in the day. Ink it the way I used to ink. So it looks kind of the same. Get the knuckles. Let's see, what do we got going? I like to check in every now and then. I saw Daniel Warren Johnson posing with Bill Sienkiewicz, cover of issue 1 of Transformers. Oh, okay. I haven't seen that guy in a while. Not since we worked together. Yeah. I mean, I'm talking about Johnson, not Bill. I've seen Sienkiewicz. Maybe not. Maybe I haven't seen Bill in a while. We lose touch with people. We were all very busy at the last 2 conventions. I didn't get to see any of my friends. I'm working on the other guy, Megatron. There he is. Megatron. On a better drawing. Oh, that's a nice one. Okay. Taking a second to. I'm enjoying this now. I was worried I wouldn't remember how to do this. Years ago, my next door neighbor had a kid, and so he asked me to do a mural for the kid for free because he was my neighbor. So I did a mural of Spider-Man in this kid's bedroom. I took all day, worked really hard on it, painted Spider-Man. The kid told me I did it wrong. So I worry when I do a character, and people are gonna look at the details and they're gonna know. They're gonna say, "Do you know how to draw Transformers?" That's when I have to admit I do not. And that's why God made whiteout. Fix it with the whiteout. This is his leg. He's got those little weird metal briefs. Where's he got the leg? And this is why I chose this light source. I want to put much of it in shadow. I do like this guy's bell-shaped head, though. Yeah, we were just kind of stuck with these character designs because Hasbro. They already had the toys, so we had to just work with what they gave us. I believe Larry, I can't remember now if it was Larry Hama or Bob Budiansky that wrote this thing. But these guys had to make up the whole world at the time. Transformers was just a toy. They didn't know a story. They didn't have a story. So somebody had to come up with where do they come from, and they invented all the planet and the whole story, which is an interesting way to work. Look at these squares. Trying to get that logo on his chest. Wonderful. There it is. It's got like a triangle. Evil logo. Good enough. That shape. That shape. He will. Okay. Getting very close. Getting very close, folks. Is the second floppy issue of Decathlon 3 finished? It is. I did not have time to print it, but yes, it is going out today, so anybody who buys something can get the second issue unless they want the first issue instead. So people who are first-time customers can get the new Death Cat or sketchbook. But I did finish the new. That was the yeah. That's the goal. The reason I forced myself to do this thing on a weekly schedule is that it will force me to finish this book and others after it. The goal is to do 20 pages a week from now on, like I used to back in the old days when I used to work at Marvel Comics in DC. I used to crank out a book a week, and I just got out of that habit. And I thought it'd be better to get back to that schedule because I have many ideas for things, and I don't have time. I'm getting old, man. I got books I want to do before I drop dead, you know? It's actually starting to fall together. Isn't that astounding? I don't know how it happens. Look at this guy's kneecaps, though. Oy vey. Yes, there's so many variations on this guy, though. There's like the animated version and the comic version and all this stuff. And the toy version. The animated version seems to have a little less detail because you always have to streamline for animation. Like when they used to make the old animated Spider-Man, the first series, the Ralph Bakshi series. They got rid of his webs. He didn't have any webs on his body because everything in animation you had to draw over and over. Now everything's computer animated and you don't have to worry about that. But back in the old days, anything you drew, you were going to have to draw 5,000 times. So if a guy had freckles, you just get rid of the freckles. Like, I don't want to have to draw the freckles 5,000 times. Now you can put a guy in a plaid suit and it won't matter. Ron. Okay. I just had to find those knees. Unusual knees. All right, here we go. Black, black, black. All the black has come through. Thank you for asking about the second floppy. Did you like the first floppy, Sean? By the way, I like the way it came out, and I'm not making many of them because I'm printing them here, so they're super rare. I'm only making like 10 or 20 copies of each one because the real book is coming out once I'm done. But for me, having that, the problem with working for yourself is that nobody's bothering you. Like I got another job I'm working on, and they're bothering me. They call me up and they're, where's the pages? So that gets you going. But nobody's calling me. Thank you for asking, because nobody ever asked me where the pages are, and then that's why I can always put it off. But this time I was like, oh man, if I don't have new stuff for the show, people are gonna get mad. So I did this stuff, but I didn't have time to print it. But it will go out. It'll go out tomorrow in the shipments. So if anybody wants one, all right. It's almost happened. Almost done. Just taking a little more. he's got that. Okay. He'll have these interesting robot knuckles. Joints. Give him some action. Give him one of these. Old Marvel comic shock line. So you know, guys, either running or being hit. He's got shiny lines coming out of him. Get him, get him. Beat him. Put a reflection on this nice tube here. Another reflection on this tube. Dot, dot. And I think we're ready for the next phase. I think we're ready for the whiteout. Looking. Everything looks tight to me. Get to order. Yeah, that's ink. Clean that brush. Nice, put that there. Nice clean brush. Blot it on my shirt because I can't find my paper towel. Now, more white. There we go. 2 white pens in case one doesn't work. But the other one was very temperamental. Crank, 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 crank. Well, maybe this is the one that didn't work. Yes, we might not see you next Thursday during the. I know, yeah, I know that. Yeah, I'm not. I gotta go see my mama and my children, and I'm sure you'll be busy too on Thanksgiving. I'm gonna probably do another one before then, just because I'm trying to. I made a couple of changes to the settings. I'm trying to do like a simulcast, and I am having issues, and that's why I was like 5 minutes late today, and then it froze, and so I just want to give it a dry run in a couple of days when I'm not scheduled to do a show, just to find out what the issue is. I might jump on and jump off. But yeah, I'll definitely be on the next. If everybody likes Thursday, I might also try another day. But I like Thursday seems to be a nice day. I do want to do more of these. Try and get it up to maybe twice a week or something. Like I say, it does force me to actually be productive and get things done that normally don't get done, like doing my books or updating my store, all that kind of stuff. I forget to do listings. Oh yeah, like I forgot to show everybody. Where is it? I forgot to show everybody I made. I have 30 hands. Well, yeah, I made these cool Crocs. I was gonna show everybody. They're Plastic Man Crocs. I didn't have time. I forgot to show everybody. I barely set it up in the shop. But that we'll get. I'll show it. I'll spend more time on it another time. So yeah, I'll do another show between now and then, just so I can get caught up. Thanks for asking. Tires are fun to draw. I enjoy threads. Let's see, I'll have to get an order in next week's show so I can get number 2 next. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I'll move on to the next. Kyle, did you see the Absolute Batman Annual? No. Tell me about the Absolute Batman Annual if you're still here. Sorry, I missed that one. What is the Absolute Batman Annual? And why should I see it? I'll check it out. Which is why people tell me to get a moderator, because I cannot look 2 things at the same time. It's all happening. Get very close, very close to the end here. Let's see. Let me know if I'm. Let's see. It's just Batman beating up white nationalists. Oh, well, something to do. All right. Yeah, I'll check it out. Who's the villain? Oh, I guess the villain is the white nationalist. Is there some kind of fantasy element to it, like the oh, who is that guy? They used to have a Klansman in the hate monger. I remember him. He had like superpowers, like super hate power. And if I remember correctly, the hate monger turned out to be Adolf Hitler. That was the twist ending. What the hell comic was that? I can't remember the comic though. Hate monger. Is that Captain America's enemy? Sounds like he should be Captain America's enemy. I read it when I was a child. fudge. Okay, I think this is close to done. Done-ish. Oh, look, thank you. Thanks for doing this, sir. It looks awesome already. Thank you, Whatnot Chuck. All right, I'm glad he's still here. I appreciate everyone who sticks around. You are literally watching paint dry. And it is like watching paint dry. I keep thinking I'm going to change the name of the show to Watching Paint Dry. It really is fun. I haven't done this style in a while. I like drawing tires. Put the treads on. I don't know why I like drawing tires. I do it a lot. I think I probably got started drawing tires because of this stupid book. I think that's the thing about any cartoon you do. You have to draw the same thing 100 times, and you learn sort of a system for doing it because you're going to have to draw. I was talking about this before. Like Plastic Man. That's the first thing I did when I got the Plastic Man job. Was I removed a stripe from his outfit. There's Memphis Comics sold really well. Oh, so the Batman book sold really well. Very nice. Well, look, maybe it'll be a sequel. Maybe they'll make that a next movie. Is it doing this? Checking my notes here. Checking messages. TWJ lives a street over from me. Very good. All right. Sometimes white doesn't go down as opaque as I like, and I give it a second coat. Last look. Just taking one more lap, looking at the details, comparing it to the drawing, the Google pictures I Googled. Like I say, there's so many different versions of this guy. Depending on like the TV show and they simplified it for the TV show. Right. These kooky things on his waist. They're challenging. Okay. Just giving it one more look. Lines here. Circle. Ah. Okay. I feel like it's done. I think it's done. Am I missing anything? Does it look done? I'm going to call it done. There. Zoom in my picture out of it. Get a good look. All right. I'm looking at it on screen. Like I say, it's funny. Things look different on the screen, so I can see the more clear. Oh, it came out nice. Okay, I got to autograph it. Thank you. I'm going to sign it. That was the part I need to do. And I did not leave room. I never leave room. Kyle. Okay. There we go. That is it. That is what it looks like. I guess I've run it. Where is the? There it is. Let's see if I got this right. Push the wrong button. Give me a second. Oh, somebody bought something for $15. Probably a book. Probably a cease and desist. Hold on. Here we go. Sketch drawing request. Pre-bid. There it is. Product auction. Start auction. Start auction. All right, so there it goes. And that is Chuck has the pre-bid in, which is running it. We'll go through, look at the, see if there are corrections that need to be corrected, made. All right. I am going to. All right. Gotten much better at this whatnot thing. Thank you. it's getting. Thank you, whatnot, Chuck. Okay, unpin product. See, now this is the part I always forget to unpin the product, so it's not in my face. Okay, so that one is ready to go. That one is done and ready to go, and I am giving you an option of 2. You're getting the sticker sheet for sure. Absolutely getting the sticker sheet, and your choice is as the freebie. Oh, look at that! I made two different covers. So these are the 2 options. You have the Decathlon Old Glare issue. Well, there you go. That is free, and this one is the sketchbook, which is just a collection of all the drawings, many of the drawings that I've done on the show. So you can try that one. So those are your options. Decathlon. Okay, I'm putting it right with the thing then. It's a deal. I'll put it right here. Put it in the envelope before I forget. And so yeah, it comes with the sticker sheet and all that other good stuff. My weird thank you. Oh, and the magic fish. People know about the magic fish. There. Okay, put that in there so I can remember it. Done. All right, now what was? We sold something for $15. I believe it is the cease and desist. So I'm going to do a real quick sketch in the cease and desist, and then that'll be the end of the show. So let me find a nice copy. Here's a nice copy. Book. Oh, look at that nice focus. What is going on here? Come on, man. There it goes. All right. So I'm just I just want to confirm that that's the book I sold. I think it's the only thing I have for $15. Orders. Cease and desist. I was right. Okay. Here we go. What shall I draw? Now, the funny thing is, I don't usually draw a copy. I'm doing it here. I don't charge extra for the drawing or the autograph because this book is deliberately on the rotten paper, so God knows how long it's going to last, and that's why it's so cheap. So I'm putting a sketch in, but God knows if it'll actually last. Let me get my pen. I'm gonna try and experiment. See if I can do this. I'm gonna try a character I've never drawn before. And I'm going to do it without penciling. This could be a disaster, but I do not believe it will be. I find a reference drawing. Let's try this one. Everything's still going. Okay. Got my reference. So, it's gonna. Okay. Okay, this could go anyway. But if I do it, I'm going to be very proud of myself. It's bleeding because of the rotten paper. All right. That is my feeble attempt at a Don Martin caricature. I'm a big fan. I had all the books. I had all the paperbacks. And that was why I wanted to do the book in this format. It's going to bleed through. Oh, good. There's nothing on the other side. Excellent. That was it. Thank you very much. Don Martin, love it. Thank you. That was my goal. Because this is my Mad tribute. This book is my tribute to the old Mad paperbacks I collected. And I'm going to do more, whether people like them or not, because I'm a fan. I think you got to do some books that are just for you, whether people enjoy them or not. And like I say, I just really like Rotten Paper, and I really like Mad Magazine. And those old guys I grew up on. Jack Davis and Mort Trucker and the rest of them. Cleaning my brush, in case anybody wondered what that noise was. All those guys. All right, I think that is it for the show. Unless I have forgotten something. Speak now or forever hold your peace. If I forgot something, I'm going to come back tomorrow. I'm in a good mood. I'm going to come back tomorrow. I had a couple of glitches. I started a little late today. So I'm going to make up for it. Thank you again, Whatnot Chuck. And whoever bought the other book that I just did the sketch in. And thank you. Have a great night. This is the part where I try to figure out how to turn this thing on. Talk amongst yourselves. There is a way to sign off. I can never remember. I gotta go back to the home page. Here. Click shows. There it is. End show. Alright. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Okay, I will definitely come back tomorrow. I'll fix it. Alright. Talk to you tomorrow. Thanks.